Hello, my name is Andre Armour. I'm a 21-year-old marketing major at Albany State University. The question that I'll be addressing is from Case A, and it's called, the question is explain the challenges that exist in building relationships with seller partners and the potential impacts of privacy and security of customer data in global markets, as well as the impact on possible theft by these global partners. So the first part of the question that I'll start with is explain the challenges that exist in building relationships with reseller partners. So I want to focus on two main challenges, and that was basically the first challenge being Zones was once upon a time a new company, and their partner was some of the partners they have now are Microsoft and Apple. And maybe one of the challenges for them was just building a trustworthy relationship because Zones being a new company and dealing with a company like Microsoft, who is much older than Zones, they had to build some type of rapport within each other in order for them to do business sales. And the same thing goes for Apple. Just building a rapport from Zones to Apple so they would be more trusting in Zones to do more business for them. So the second part of the question is also talk about the potential impacts of privacy and security of customer data in global markets. In today's global market, you have a lot of hackers. You have a lot of smart people who can hack products. So therefore, that could be a potential problem for Zones because they do specialize in different things that have to do with customer security and securing their personal information. So, if customers can't trust Zones to keep up with their personal information, then they Zones in return will lose a lot of customers, a lot of business, and then they will practically fall apart because they don't have any customers. Also, talk about it says also the impact on possible theft by these global partners. So even once Zones is doing the global sales, they still have to work with other companies, other third-party companies. And when working with these third-party companies, sometimes it could be an issue for maybe I'll use Trinity for example within the paper that we received. Trinity was one of those companies who stole basically embezzled money from customers. Zones basically was giving Trinity something to sell, and Trinity decided to charge extra fees to customers. So in return, Trinity they did get money, but it happened for years. I believe it was 20 plus years, and eventually Zones did find out that Trinity was just taking more money from customers than they needed. So luckily they were busted, and how can Zones better prevent this in the future is by just having some type of system set up to where they have a checks and balances. Maybe one department can check this department and another department can check another department. And sometimes they can also have different people to kind of do a little secret shopping. And with secret shopping, maybe a person could go into the business and tell them and pretend like they're like an undercover person who's just going around and investigating things. And then once, if they find anything negative, they can report it back to Zones. Okay. Also, let's see. Another point I would like to point out is just like when doing business to business, the main thing is keeping the customer first. I know I always talk about keeping the customer first wherever I go because you are dealing with other people's money. So if Zones has the ability to keep the customer first and make sure that they're not being mistreated, they should take the opportunity. So just going back to Trinity, once Zones did find out about Trinity embezzling money, they did stop it, and hopefully in the long run, if the customer ever finds out about what happened, Zones can return every customer's money who may have gotten stole from by Trinity. Also, when the customer money was being stolen, Zones, I know it'll be great for them to release some type of article, just letting the customers know what happened and just being upfront and transparent. So in the long run, the customers will establish a relationship with Zones because they know that they'll tell them the truth if anything happens with their money.